What is going on, folks? It's Saturday night. A bunch of our Bruce's wife isn't out of town, but me and Ricky's wife decided to go out of town for the night, and we just thought we'd live stream because I've got a book to show, one half of my 2024 collecting goals, and Bruce is going to show some books. So let's just bring everyone out to the stage and just welcome Ricky from All Sorts of Words, the funniest guy I know, and up
Confetti.
north. Justin Birchletters, what's up, dude? And also Richard Westfall. Thanks for joining in. How are you guys doing tonight? Here we are again.
Great. Another one. 2 nights in a row.
We can't hear you, Ricky.
Yeah.
This is the exciting, thrilling life of adults collecting comic books on YouTube. This is what we do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't expect to tonight. I totally didn't mean to. And then Hannah today had a chance to go hang out with her biological dad and her 2 sisters, and the 4 of them haven't been together in so long. And so she let me take, first of all, she let me take a 2-hour nap today. So in the world of freaking parenting, that was amazing. But then she woke me up and she's like, I'm just going to go by myself because Evelyn, our daughter, was sick. She's like, you're going to stay with the girls all night. And I'm like, okay, cool. And the first thing that popped in my mind, I'm like, well, I guess I'm streaming again tonight.
Yeah.
I know Ricky's wife is out of town. And Bruce, I'm glad you could join. So what's going on, guys? It's Saturday night. So lots of good shows. I did my show last night, and then the Collectors Club went, and then you guys went. You guys, I didn't realize you were going to stream, and I started watching the playback today. And all of a sudden, Bruce, who I've known for 10 years through Star Wars collecting, is on with Ricky, and I'm like, whoa,
what is going on?
The universes are colliding. And it looks like you guys had a great conversation. It's Komodo dog.
Yeah, it's from fattuboflard.com. I'm not even kidding. It's called fattuboflard.com. They're a record company that mainly produces Asian death metal. And so they had a kimono for the movie The Sadness, and it was pre-order only. And so your boy.
You like baby metal too, don't you?
I saw Baby Metal in concert. Yeah,
dude,
they're awesome.
I love. It's just a crazy, crazy act, and I mean the musicians that play with the girls are hardcore rockers. I mean, their stuff.
Dude, you would have loved that show. It was Baby Metal and Death Clock from Metalocalypse.
I love Death Clock, dude.
Dude, it was both of them.
Did you watch Metalocalypse back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Why was I there? I absolutely was there for that reason.
It's an explosion. Yeah.
I woke up with a clown's hand down my pants. That's what I did today.
To the chat, and any of you guys that haven't checked it out, you can go on and find Metalocalypse. I think it's on might be an HBO Max. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what a wild freaking show, and it's just hilarious. Yeah. But if you like hard metal that is infused into that show with cool animation, it was I dug it big time. Dan, what's up? You got a robe on?
Everybody's fancy.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's cozy.
Gotta get cozy on a nice cold day.
A cold day? What is it there?
I'm freezing. Everything's
just
icy
freezing
outside, and we were slipping when we went for a little walk earlier.
Me, Ricky, and Bruce have about the same, I guess.
Yeah, it's
probably.
like 8 degrees here.
It was 4 when I got up this morning. I kicked my cat. It's 11 degrees now.
You didn't make it cold, Brandon.
This one to trigger Ricky. Yeah. So yeah, it's just that time of year. I'm really grateful actually that I have met so many cool people through YouTube, because if I hadn't done YouTube and met everyone, I wouldn't be sitting here streaming. I wouldn't have anyone to talk to. I mean,
same here.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you.
No, thank you, Dan. And
I was very popular before all of this. I just chose to be here with you guys.
Ricky's got a separate channel with 10,000 subs.
Yeah.
It's about cooking.
Right.
Hey, Comic Cat Collectibles. So yeah, I got one of 2 books in the mail that I wanted to open up with you guys. I've been talking to Ricky a bit about it, but I'm not a modern comic collector. You guys know me. I collect mostly silver and bronze, and I will collect some modern books if I love the cover, if I heard the story's amazing to read. But when I caught the first season of Invincible on Amazon, I fell in love. And I was like, oh, we got another one. I was like, hey, Ryan. I watched that show, and I don't want to ruin it in case any of you guys haven't seen it and you want to go watch it. Bruce, have you seen it?
No.
Okay, so the first episode's pretty normal. Like, you know, you find out there's a superhero called Omni-Man who leads this team, and his son's a superhero. He's just waiting to get his powers, and like just very normal, you know. And the end of the episode, just hard turn craziness, and you're like, oh, it's that kind of show. We're gonna go there, okay. And then it just gets better and better. I love the characters. I love the story. And I blew through the first season. I'm now watching the second season, but I decided I'm going to get an omnibus of the whole thing so I can sit down and read the whole thing. But I was like, I want to pick up 2 keys out of that series to really just to remember that, like, I fell in love with this comic, and you know, like, so my girls remember when they have them someday. So the 2 things I want to pick up was a key appearance of a first hero and first appearance of a villain. So for the hero, I picked Monster Girl, who is this little kid, but she can turn into this big monster because it reminded me of my daughter, Evelyn. She can be the sweetest little thing, but she can just turn into an absolute apeshit crazy monster. So I like that character. And then the other book is coming next week, and I'll do a live stream of that. So I found one. The seller, I'm going to make myself big for a sec to show this. All right, guys?
Yep.
Sorry,
He
guys.
just dropped down.
The seller didn't ship for like 3 days. Then a holiday came and snowstorms out west. So I was like getting worried. It is just an eBay sale. Because when I started trying to look for this book, I wouldn't call it a ghost. I'd call it, this is a good analogy for my upstate New York or out in the country people, a bobcat. Like, you don't see them often. You do see them, but there's just not many around. And I went to every Instagram live sale I could, and no one had it. I asked everyone. I'm talking, guys, I went to like 10 sales over the periods of a couple weeks, and just every time I saw a different seller, I'd mark it down on my phone and I'd go check. No one had it. On eBay, there was 2 copies. There's an autographed copy and this copy graded. So I go to the census to look it up. I'm like, I got to see what's going on with this. And the more I read, the more I discovered there was a very low print run for issues sub 10. There was like 10,000 or less for some of those issues, which low print run. But I found this one. I think the seller wanted $139. I shot him an offer of $100 and he accepted it. So I was like, you know what, that works. So he sent me an extra, Astonishing X-Men number 25. Shout out for Dan. And some cards in the back. Spider-Man cards. Oh, he got me a Kingpin card. I can put that with my first appearance. That's pretty cool. But the book that I picked up, 1/2 of my collecting goals. Very pumped. Invincible number 9.
Nice.
And a 9.4. So I'm not a spec guy, but I could see with the popularity of this, if it continues, if it carries on, and being a low print run, akin to the Turtles, effect of what happened with that first issue, like it was such a low print run and now it's crazy high. This is not the same, but it's got that idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if it stays in pop culture long enough and other people are trying to search these out, I just couldn't find them. I could not find any copies of this book. So 9.4 white pages. That's Monster Girl right on the front. What's his name, Ricky? Rexplosion, yeah. He's such a dick. I love him in the show.
It's so funny, and no spoilers. I'm not that guy. I'm just saying, like, you say things about characters that like let me know only how far you've gone.
Right.
And you're like, oh, this guy sucks, and I'm like, okay, because he's like one of the more revered characters in the whole show. He has an amazing arc. So
I can't wait to see that. And you blew my mind. Like the race is called Viltrumites, of the race that Omni-Man and his son are. And Ricky blew my mind. He's like, have you gotten to this one and you've seen this? I'm like, oh, what? That happens? He's like, it's not a spoiler, but just you'll see. And I was like, cool. So yeah, really, I like that. It's got that wraparound cover. So first appearance of Monster Girl and Bulletproof. Robert Kirkman story, Ryan Otley art, and Corey Walker cover from 2004. So,
that's sweet.
Yeah, scratch the first appearance of a good guy off. Sweet cover too. Beating the crap out of Mark.
Now, what's the year on that? Because that's important to mention.
That it was published?
Yeah,
2004. So
that what I'm saying is like you're saying like, oh, when one day this becomes part of the pop culture, homie, this done been here.
I guess
Like,
so.
this
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been here.
I mean, I guess Turtles is what, 40 years old now?
Right. What I mean is like the
has
show
got
came
20.
out now and people are getting into it. And I love it. Don't worry, I'm not a gatekeeper. But the show came out now and people are falling in love with it. But like for comic readers in the community, this has been one of the best things we've ever had. It's so
I know.
good.
I've seen people flashing their number ones, and like I totally get, like, I've been out of it for a while, and I haven't been around for it, but it definitely has solidified itself from what I've seen, read. And I was just wondering, like if when it hits the Turtles mark, will it, carry that kind of the low print run of the sub 10 issues. I was talking to Next Gen Collector, because he has quite an invisible collection. And he was saying, yeah, dude, like some of those sub 10 issues are just like freaking ridiculously hard to find.
And there's one guy, I wish I knew his name. I'd shout out his channel, but he has there's a rare blue variant of the first issue where they used way more blue ink than they should have, but it's not a variant. It's just they ruined a whole print run, and because it was so low and on trial, they were like, just send it out. So there's a portion of these books that went out to stores that came out way more blue than they should.
Oh,
and so like if you see one that is like a pale baby, almost like the color in the back of Colossus's background, but a little lighter, if you see that cover with that tint, grab it. It's the most expensive book you'll ever own.
So you've only seen it once? You've only seen
on YouTube, I've only seen one dude with it, and he fought with CGC, and CGC even recognized it on the label to say blue cover variant.
Oh, sick.
That's pretty cool.
Tell me when.
What's happening?
He's adjusting his light.
Oh
No.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
There it is. That's it. I was like, what's happening?
He's pretending to be Jesus with a light behind him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that color. Yeah, it's exactly a little light. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it.
Richard, you're right. The voice actors do match perfectly. So Steven, how do you say his last name? Yang? Yung? Yang? Ricky, help me.
Steven Yeun.
Yun, yeah. So Glenn from Walking Dead is Mark, is the kid. The father is the guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man. Forgot his name.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. He's the father, and Richard is right. They matched up the voices perfectly.
Fun fact: J.K. Simmons is the voice of the yellow M&M.
Yes, I've heard that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Sophie.
That's funny that you mentioned about Walking Dead, because that's all. Every time I think about Invincible, it's, to me, reminds me of Walking Dead, because it's always like low print run. Is what I'm told. Even though
same publishers, right?
Same writer, Kirkman.
Same writer. Yeah, that's right. That's
same
right.
publisher, same writer.
But the only thing I know about Invincible is the Whatnot exclusives that were sold like around the time when I started to watch Whatnot, and so they were pumping those all the time. And I'll controversial take, because I've never read Invincible. Hate it. Don't know, because I know nothing about it.
Did you watch the show?
Like Walking Dead a lot.
Did you watch the show?
No, never read it.
The
never
show
watched
is going to
the
be my
show.
gateway drug, because now that I've seen the stories it can involve, I'm going to read it.
All right, I should give it a try, because I haven't heard of anybody
and for real, it's not like other shows. Like, watch the first episode and you'll know whether or not you're in or not, because that first episode's a banger.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. I've only heard of people liking it who've given it a try, so I thought I'd just throw out my controversial take that it sucks.
I watched the first episode this week.
What'd you think?
It was good.
When you got to the end, were you like, my
I'm
wife
not
was
a
like,
big like cartoon guy, like.
Unless it's X-Men 97.
Well, it's not a cartoon, right? So
you hear that fucking music, and I bet you get a little sexy, don't you?
I will say, I think if it's good, I can get into it. It's just I have trouble adopting new animations, anything animation, because I just don't. I would rather watch like live action stuff, right? Like I'm just
get off my lawn.
Same with my wife. My wife is the exact same way. It kills me.
Like I still haven't watched the sequel to the Spider-Verse thing, just because I know I've got to see it, and everybody says it's so good.
Yeah,
it's just like I don't want to watch an animation right now. Like,
really, it's almost kind of
Spider-Verse was amazing. That's the best thing.
I really like that.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Marvel, and the boys was cool, Richard. I like that.
Not Marvel, it's Sony. So yeah, guys, that's
Sweet,
just
man. Congratulations. $100 you said? I don't know the
Thanks.
prices behind it, but that sounds like a cool deal.
So FMV, according to cover price, take it as you will, was like 194, where the last sold of like 160.
Killer.
The guy had it for 140, but I know the current climate. I sent him 100 saying, I'll play if I'll pay 115 if he's like meet me in the middle,
Sweet.
But I was like,
Pound
all
it,
right.
dog.
So big first appearance of a cool little girl that reminds me of my daughter. Bruce, did you bring some stuff to open up tonight?
I did, yeah, from you actually.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
NSFW. No, just kidding. There's nothing bad. Ricky.
So
I can work with this.
I haven't even opened this up at all, so we're gonna do it live.
We'll
right
start.
here.
Why don't you start unboxing it?
Okay.
Start opening it up
Yep.
right now. And Ricky, you got a topic we can talk about while Bruce is unboxing it?
Okay, so if you could force Brandon from M.O.N.Comics to read something that you know he hasn't read, but you know that he would love it, like what would you force down his throat?
X-Men.
Saber-tooth samurai.
What is Saber-tooth samurai?
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, he's gonna go grab it.
What were you saying, Ryan? Which specifically is there one X-Men book I would, if I read?
Oh, God Loves Man Kills.
I'm writing this down. This is good stuff.
God Loves Man Kills is incredible.
What's yours, Dan?
Correction. Saber-tooth swordsman. I just picked up never mind. But this super fun read. It's black and white, but like you can see the artistic details here is, just a lot of fun.
Ooh, I like
basically
that.
like dude, I need to read it again. It's been quite a while, but I just remember just having a blast. It takes about, I don't know, an hour or less to read. And it's just like a really fun, like quick adventure, genie in there, battle a bunch of bosses, little bit of gore, just fun adventure with gore and great art.
Okay. Ricky, what would you make me read?
I think you'd love Super Sons. The Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent before they ruined him they didn't ruin him because they made him gay. They ruined him because they aged him up. And
Right.
like Superman having like a 9-year-old son was amazing to read, but they wanted him to be an adult because they're losing the copyright, and so they want an adult Superman for when they lose the copyright. They didn't want a kid. But yeah, Super Sons. It's Bruce Wayne and Clark dealing with their children being best friends.
I love it.
So like they have to be dads, and so I think like as a dad, you'd appreciate that part of the story, but then like the fact that your kids would have superpowers and they're so different. Damien's such a dick and John is such a dope, and it's lovely. There's an omnibus too.
I wrote all these down, guys, so that I have some homework. Bruce, what'd you get in the mail, buddy? I know you just got everything opened up.
Yeah, I got everything opened up. Did you adopt my tape method?
The tabs?
Yeah.
Brother, that's the hobby, brother.
Your
Okay.
tape method.
I love you,
I don't
Bruce.
know. I thought it was original.
Are you drinking my Kool-Aid?
No, I'm drinking Molson Canadian.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Okay.
Good name.
I'm
Not
pretty
that I
much
drink-
Canadian at this point.
I don't drink most Canadian much though, but I
Okay.
respect it.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
I drink Rolling Rock, so I drink American beer.
Okay.
I also got to hear what this tape method is, by the way.
Oh, the tape method?
Yeah.
Tabs.
It's just the pull tabs.
Yeah,
tab.
just the pull tab with the blue tape. I don't know. I thought Brandon was like, oh, that was really cool of you to do that for my package, so he just adopted it. I don't know.
Yeah, wait till you find out how we're smuggling drugs through that tape pull method. Then you're gonna love it.
Well, I live next to the Canadian border. So,
Yeah,
you know.
comic is your drugs. What you got?
All right, so in the mail, I got 2 comics from Brandon. He was having a sale on Facebook, and I was like, fuck yeah, of course I'm going to buy some comics from Brandon. So I wanted to put some money towards this trip to Terrificon, and I already have one of them in my collection. And this isn't the book that I bought, but I have ASM number 136 here in 8.0.
Rockin'.
So I already had this slabbed. So what I wanted to do is get a reader copy It's actually better than a reader copy. But I got the same book so I could read the story. So what I like to do with my comics is read them. I mean, that's the whole purpose of collecting is, you know, you grew up with them, you read your comics. So I wanted to pick this one up and just go through it. And it's going to be an awesome story. I already know because it's the first time that Harry Osborn is revealed as a Green Goblin. So
I love that. I love having a
the
raw
new
copy of
Green
Office
Goblin.
Lab.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I try to undergrade when I sell comics because I never want anyone messaging me back, you know,
Yeah.
and being like, this isn't, you know, a mid grade, you know. So like if I say 5 or 6, I'm hoping it's more 7.5, you know.
All right, graded on the spot.
But what I was gonna say is, Bruce, did you get the that 8.0 to because you love the cover, knowing that you'd probably get a raw at some point and the price was right?
Yeah, so I saw that one on Facebook as well, and I just pulled the trigger on it. I don't think I really got a great deal on it, but the guy ended up throwing in an issue of Thor, Silver Age Thor book for free. So I was like,
There
hey,
you
why
go.
not? So I got a good deal, and I knew I wanted to pick up this book and read the story eventually. So I was looking on eBay because that's pretty much where you could find the cheapest books that, you know, for reader copies. And I had some on my watch list, and I saw you posted this, and I was like, yeah, definitely buying that. So thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. I just hate soliciting my friends first. Like, I don't want to reach out to my friends and be like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to buy my comics? Like, I'd rather try Facebook groups and stuff first.
Yep.
Unless
Yep.
it's something that I know, like, one of my friends would really want. Like, if I had was it X-Men 221, Dan? Is that your jam?
that is Rohan's perceived jam of
Yes.
me.
If I had one of those, like, and I was going to sell it, I would reach out to Dan first.
That would be my gem.
Oh, that's your gem. Sorry. Is that the
Yeah.
Colossus on the cover?
Ryan can claim that.
No, it's not Colossus. It's first appearance of Mr. Sinister, and I have about 8 copies.
Oh, that's right. Okay. What else did I spend? I forgot what else you bought.
That book's gonna pop. Not like it used to, but it will pop.
Yes, sir. I think you're right.
So the other book that came in the package was Spawn #9 for Star
Oh, yeah.
So I saw this one at Bangor Comic Con when I went, and I went up to the vendor, and he had this as a wall book, and I was like, hey, could you do a better price on this if I pay cash? And he's like, no, wall books are the price that they are, and walked away. And I was like,
how much was he asking?
Put it back, 15. So
Yeah.
I wanted to talk him down to like, I think I wanted to pay 10, which is what I paid for this. And then and that issue that I saw at the con had a little bit of, I'll try to get it closer, had a little bit of issues going on by the top staple. And I just didn't really, I saw that and I didn't really care for it. So I still had it in my hand after you just walked away from me. And
yeah, that one's pretty nice. Little dirt on the spine.
Yeah.
But I think that could be cleaned off.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I just pick up Spawn whenever I can. It's not like a focus or anything, but if I see issues that I like, I'll buy them. Like I have multiple copies of Spawn #1. These are the books that I grew up with. So to pick up books like this, I probably had this book as a kid. I don't remember it per se off the top of my head having it, but I probably did at some point. So thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome. Jean Malo, what's going on? Still only 35 cents, Dave. What's up, guys? Jean, you did show that book last night. Sorry about that. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad they made it there safely.
Yep.
Whenever I send books, I don't know about if you guys send a lot of books, but I'm nervous when I mail anything. You like if someone's trusting you to ship them something, you know, you want it to arrive as you'd want it to arrive. And God,
Right,
I used to ship so much vintage Star Wars stuff when I was selling hardcore on Instagram.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was shipping like, this is before I had kids, guys. I was going hardcore. Like I was shipping like 60 packages a week.
Yep.
I could have made a small business out of it. At first, I didn't have stamps.com, and the post ladies get pissed. I would bring like 28 packages at a time.
Really?
Yeah, they got pissed. They were mad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I practiced a lot of packing, but comic books are pretty nice.
How dare you use their service?
I know,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a small town, though. You know, like there was
I have
one
to do
teller.
my job now.
Ricky, you got? Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I said that stuff pisses me off. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, is it their job? Yeah, I commiserate because we're in a small town. And I had like 7 people behind me, and they only could afford to have one person running the register, you know. So.
I mean, I get being annoyed or pissed as a customer, and you got to sit behind somebody who's now doing 20. Like, I get that, but the person at the post office, I mean, like, that's your job. Like, mail this.
Evil Ryan coming out. Holy crap. Mike, watch the replay of this one. Jeez, you got competition. Ricky, you got any good topics for us tonight?
What? Oh, I shouldn't bring all my mail to you? Like, I don't know. It's just
true. It's true, man.
What do you think? This is a pizza place? Yeah, it's lunch.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Okay. So before I bring up a topic, I'm making piles of gifts for when we meet everybody at the convention, because like I don't want to ship anything, because like what's the point if I'm going to be seeing all you?
Only Christmas is in August.
Well, it's going to be last year. But I went to a flea market and I found this for you, Brandon. This is a Whitman Big Little book from 1968. Wow, they sold these at Whitman's.
Cool. The pocketbook, yeah.
They sold them for.
It's like a real book with paper, or it almost looks like a kid book, like those.
It's got images, but it's also got stories because it was written by William Johnston. I did some research for you. It's written by William Johnston, who did a lot of adaptation comic books, and he wrote like issues of the Munsters and the Addams Family, and so they were like, we need you to write a Fantastic Four story, you go do these. And so he did a lot of Big Little Book works, and the art is actually Herb Trimpe.
That's cool.
Of Hulk 181 fame. Yeah, that dude, I've wanted that for a while. I'm glad you showed me so that I did not purchase it. Yeah, that's sick. Look at that.
I love Herb Trimpe's name.
Right.
Oh, a battery! No.
Brandon, do you have a space in your room there that's like kind of more like a shelf for stuff like that, like little knickknacks or like other collectibles or anything like that?
I don't, guys. If I showed you this is like a corner of my wife's office.
Oh.
I have my gun safe, literally my gun safe to my right. You know, I've got her desk over there. I have no, like, I had to like come up with a corner. You know, like,
you have a corner.
I have a corner, Ryan. A corner. I don't.
Maximize that corner, baby. You know, like
I have. Those are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My mother bought me that are made entirely of like metal pieces.
Oh, that you find at like a flea market.
Yeah, they're like shop market ones. And she got me like 3 of them because they only make 3.
That's awesome. Because they forgot about the 4th. Ryan, I do want shelves below. Like, I think I can do some wooden shelves just to store stuff on, and they don't have to be like in camera, in scene. You know, I do need that though. Do you have that kind of stuff? Like, do you have statues and mini busts and stuff?
So over here, I'm going to eventually do a room tour. I just want to get all the things. I just want to sprinkle some more things in the room before I do it. But I have so back here I have a shelf.
Yes, Bruce.
With Omnibus, and then above it I have this other little like shelf that's on top of it. That's like my little like knick-knack thing. I have like a little mini bus in there, a couple Funko Pops. I put little Marvel cards in there, a couple comics, autographed picture in there, just a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, I need some. I wish I had. So I had, you know, when we moved in, it was me and my wife. We had 2 spare bedrooms besides the master bedroom and this office. Obviously, it's her office. So I move all my nerd shit into the one room. Gets pregnant. Evelyn comes, move over to the next room. So I move all my shit to the next room.
Yep.
Second one comes. She goes, well, I guess you're out of rooms. I'm like, I need, and she's such a cool wife. She's like, I know you need your space to do your thing. You know, why don't you? You can make it neat and organized. And like, I only have a couple hundred comics, you know, so it's not like that's taking up storage. But I do have like artwork that needs to go on the wall and tons of stuff. So space is always a battle. I don't care what you're collecting. Yep. Space is always the enemy. Bruce just showed his vintage Kenner Star Wars figures set up.
Yeah, so I'm stuck in the basement here because upstairs is just taken over by the wife of my son. So what's that?
No, I was to say you're copying Jeff from Comic Spa. If you ever see Jeff go live, same basement. It looks like you guys are in a basement. Yeah, same like open rafters.
I want to finish everything, but I get water down here in the winter because we get harsh winters, and it all just floods my basement.
You got to keep that stuff off the floor.
Yeah, definitely. I've had
I
water
mean, any
issues down
base name,
here.
really. That's a good
Yeah.
thing to do.
Dude, you should
Yeah.
just drop a banner behind you, like Wild
Okay.
Stallion style, with
Yeah.
like a janky logo. I would love it.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Just something to distract everything going on back here. But I mean, I'm making do right now for
right,
half-assed.
right. Ricky, what do you want to pop off on us?
Okay, so I've got I've been thinking a lot lately because I've been doing a lot of indie collecting, a ton of indie collecting. And then I realized it's kind of like a fourth estate in comic books, because the big names are Marvel, DC, Image. Most everything that anyone, like a layman person, would name about comic books is going to come from one of those three companies. But my brain lately has been like lumping all of indie into like one big hunk. Like, even though they're completely different companies that these books come from, my brain has rationalized indie as its own company. And so I can't pick a favorite indie character. So I've been thinking about what is my Mount Rushmore of indie characters. And so I came up with my answer, and I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and we were just like shooting the shit, chopping it up. And he goes, "Oh, all four are the Turtles." And then I realized I needed to ask everybody who collects comics, like, what would you consider to be like the four most important indie characters that are deserving of being on Mount Rushmore? And his answer was valid. All four Turtles. I get it.
I'm gonna write them down.
Okay, I'll start because I know my answer. 2 boys, 2 girls. Hellboy, Lady Death, Vampirella, Judge Dredd. I feel like those are like, especially because I'm a 90s straight white man. Like, if you bought comic books from a store in the 90s, you know what Vampirella and Lady Death look like. Even if you've never opened them, you can recognize them. So I think they're pretty culturally significant. Everybody knows who Hellboy is. And Judge Dredd, like, for being a weird British paper, like, they called them progs because they called them programs, not comics like we do, but like this weird comic book from Britain, like this character that like my grandma's heard of. That's interesting.
I like Mattis's choice of bone there, but that's your personal choice, not you're saying what would we all agree.
We're not looking for
choice.
consensus. It's going to be contentious, I'm sure.
I love the Tick.
Great answer,
guy.
Okay.
Throwing that out there, but I don't think he would make the Mount Rushmore.
Does
How do you
anyone
make
have-
your route, Mike?
He would make my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm kind of useless with this conversation because I don't do anything. I don't mess with indie, but I would agree with Ninja Turtles. Like, that's for me,
Yeah, you
my
can't
childhood.
deny that.
Like I don't know exactly off the top of my head. I'm guessing G.I. Joe and Transformer were already an existing. Like they didn't come from comics, right?
Correct.
Like, yeah. So yeah,
It's just a toy brand.
Ninja
Right?
Ninja Turtles for me for sure.
Bruce, do you have 4 in mind?
I'm trying to think, man. This is tough. So it can't be. Had to start from comics.
I think that like even your first 4 answers are pretty revealing.
Okay.
Like, what's coming to your head right now?
Right. So for me, it'd be Mandalorian. Love Mandalorian. Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man. Thor. Wolverine.
But they got to be indie characters. Indie
Right.
characters.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I don't really
You're
have
like
an
you, man.
answer.
Yeah, you do. You
Marvel.
know, you got to like think. Spawn would probably be one of your favorite.
Okay.
indie
Yeah,
characters.
Okay.
Spawn.
Yeah.
But does that count because it's Image?
Now, when it
Right.
was invented, at the time it was invented, it was definitely indie.
Okay,
now,
so if we're talking
no way
Dark
in hell.
Horse too, then
Oh yeah.
Flaming Carrot is going to be on there for
That's
me.
a good one. Milk and cheese.
Flaming
Milk and
Carrot.
cheese, love milk and cheese.
All right,
Yes,
I
those
would go.
bastards.
My Rushmore would be The Crow, for sure. And JP just like told me some amazing stuff about the forward of that graphic novel and like how James O'Barr, like the tragedy that surrounds a movie about tragedy is fucking mind blowing. So I just ordered the graphic novel on Amazon. My second head would be Hellboy. I've talked to Ricky about it. I went to college and had comic books as literature, and one of the books was Hellboy: Seed of Destruction before the movies even came out. and he was a smart ass, and I love mythological creatures, and he was like, it was just fucking perfect, and I love Mignola's art for it. My third would be Spawn, because I grew up in the 90s with Spawn. I remember buying that comic off the rack, and the movie, even though it's fucking cheesy, I don't care, I love it. And then I would say, I would get the Turtles in there, but I'd say Shredder, because I always freaking loved Shredder. Like the first, as a kid, seeing him as a bad guy. I think his helmet would look cool on the Mount Rushmore too. So if I could see the Mount Rushmore in those 4 faces, it looks fucking awesome.
I'm so surprised you didn't put Invincible on it.
I mean, I do.
Right?
This is coming now. Those are like nostalgia.
Fresh.
Like I think there's nostalgia infused into that, which makes me,
I like that concrete.
Makes me, think of those characters. Like the Crow.
I got one that I thought of. Lock and Key. Does that count?
Yeah.
I used to read a lot of Lock and Key, probably back in 2004, 2005. So I'd put that up there for me, at least, just because I remember reading those books.
I had to read Concrete in that class too, as well.
I like that.
I mean, that was the same time. Concrete came out in the same time as Alien vs. Predator. That was the same Dark Horse Presents series.
Oh, is that right? I thought Concrete was like in the 80, like an 84 kind of a thing.
Let's take a look.
Let's
settle this.
So Dave from Still Only 35 Cents. Turtles would be 1. Warrior 1, which is first Miracle Man and first V for Vendetta. 2000 AD. Prague 2 and Prague 49. 149 first Judge Death.
Dark Horse Presents number 1, 1986.
What company did the Phantom way back? Was that an indie or was that
DC?
Was that DC or
what were you saying about
that was like a big
I was thinking Shadow.
Back in the day.
It was published by Lee Falk, Falk, in February of 1936. So 3 years prior to Superman.
Indie historically like big character. I mean, obviously not super relevant now, but
played by Billy Zane in the 90s.
I'd argue
my boy Billy Zane.
I'd argue George Washington isn't really all that big a deal nowadays, but he's on Mount Rushmore, right? So
he does really well selling cars.
Still only 30. Okay, Mattis says the success story of the Turtles is what makes it so popular. Yeah, I mean, I remember when you guys remember when the toys came out.
I had Turtles bed sheets.
Yeah, everyone fucking had them, right?
I mean,
so we had there's a store in my hometown called Ames, and it was a department store.
Yep.
And my parents, we were like, probably lower middle class growing up. They did everything they could for me, but they also didn't spoil me. So they knew I loved Turtles. We were at Ames. They're like, listen, you can pick out, one of the turtle, because they were a big ticket item when they came out. They were like $4.99, like because in the packaging they're big.
Yeah.
She's like, they were like, you can pick one. So like, man, this is tough. Like, which turtle do I pick? I guess I got to pick my favorite. Then I don't have a bad guy to go against. But I was super grateful. I was like, oh, I'll take Donatello, I think, because he had the bow staff and he was a scientist, and I love that. And I went up to the counter to pay, and the kid in front of me with his mom was the son of the superintendent of our school. So they were upper class, and his mother was like, had the cart, and he was behind the cart. His mother was in front unloading, and he turned around. He's like, hey, Brandon. I'm like, hey, Mark. And he's like, oh, you're getting a turtle? I'm like, yeah, I got a Ninja Turtle. Like, I love this. This is so great. And then he like moved out of the way. He's like, yeah, we're getting some too. Cause he had a brother. He had all 4 turtles, Shredder, 2 foot soldiers, like all the dopest shit in the car. And you could tell my parents were like
the van.
They must have felt so bad, but they were like, that's what we can do for you. Like, and I was so grateful. I was like, oh, cool. You're, as a kid though, I'm like, fuck you, man. Are you serious right now? Like, I was just
everybody's got that
salty
friend that you go over to their house and they have all the toys,
Yes.
Every one of those kids from my hometown's parents got divorced, so fuck them.
That's true.
My best friend in the world, Dan, and my best man in my wedding, like childhood best friend, he was that kid, but his parents he appreciated it, but he was a dick about it because he had like all the Mask toys. Remember Mask, where they would put on the mask, and he had Boulder Mountain. And I was the bad guy, so I only had 3 cars, which I was grateful he had 3, but he had like 4 of the good guys' cars and Boulder Mountain. So I'd like roll up to attack him, and he'd like look me in the eye. He wouldn't even and he'd just push a button on Boulder Mountain and it would transform. And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to beat that? Seriously, like, you know, you just the gas tanks turn into missiles and stuff, you know. A lot of those toys were great. But Turtles, man. I mean, would you guys call them the indie of indie? Like, do you feel
the
like
most
those
successful, probably
the most successful? It's the most known
of our time, of our generation.
Yeah.
But
if you got to put it next to Spawn, Turtles or Spawn, which is more successful?
Turtles. Yeah. So Lee. So we only know this because of the guy that sold it. This Eastman and Leard, right? Eastman wanted to get out in the 80s, and he saw it as, or the 90s, and he saw it as like a way to, you know, just like let me just dip this life. You can pay me $10 million and you can have my half of the Turtles. And they paid him $10 million, they being Nickelodeon. And the Leard, who kept his rights, who has, I think now he has 49%. He sold like 2% to Nickelodeon to make even more money. He makes about $150 million a year on merchandising and stuff. And so the other guy sold it for 10 once, and the other guy, I'd jump off a bridge.
I think there was a documentary on that, right?
Yeah, the Toys That Made Us. You can see it on Netflix.
Yes. Brandon
was
on that.
That's like Lucas having the foresight to keep the rights for the royalty, like, of merchandising.
When you're talking about millions of dollars at that level, I can't even wrap my head around, like, I'd be happy with 10, you know, but I guess, like, because we're humans, we need to have more. We need to maximize our value, right?
I think it also depends on it depends on the person in general, but like it also depends on what you did with that 10 million. Like, did you blow that 10 million?
He bought a lot of land and he built a big house, and so like you can't hate that at the end of the day.
Yeah, if you invested it well, it's not 10 million anymore. It's like way more, and you're probably rich as
I mean, the other guy wins, but it's like, is this a competition?
But
like,
yeah.
Are you living bad? Like, is your life bad? Like, what would you be doing with all that money now? Like, besides just buying more stuff. Like,
and we're talking about Eastman, right? Eastman sold that for 10 million.
Eastman sold Laird.
I mean, he's still doing con appearances and signature series. Like, the guy, you know,
is still make money off of it,
right? Yeah,
sure.
But it's not what Laird has capitalized on.
No, he's leaving his. Yeah, and he's leaving his children's children more money than they can
legacy
forever. Right? Legacy, 100%.
But I mean, Eastman can manufacture money when he draws like sketches, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, he also does. So they co-own like Last Ronin. So that's them. So that's a huge payday.
Word.
Yeah, Turtles. But I mean, yeah, I do love. I gotta buy. I want the Crow #1. It's gonna be like a mid-grade if I get it.
So what? But
the Crow is like the
#1
shit right now. Everybody loves the Crow.
Okay,
or Caliber.
I know Caliber is the first appearance of the Crow in comics.
Right.
I understand, but the one you want, at least I want, is the first one of the series by James O'Barr with the iconic cover. You know, the first like ongoing solo series.
I don't get the Crow.
I grew up. What? You don't get the Crow?
I don't get it. I don't get that cover.
You don't get the cover?
I don't like it.
The art sucks.
Hey, you know what? To each their own. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure. Like,
that's art, man.
But I mean, like, I don't know. The Crow. Me and my wife fell. You know, like, I loved the movie growing up just because it was dark and emo. And
there's a huge.
I grew up in the '90s grunge time, so the
Crow.
Soundtrack was amazing, like a bangers. And Brandon Lee, like, it was just, I was fascinated by the tragedy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how does that happen? And it
just happened again on that set with Alec Baldwin.
Exactly.
Just happened again.
Yeah, and but so that fascinated. But then fast forward to me and my wife got together before we had kids. We would make like ultra cocktails and sit and watch that movie. And as soon as they started saying "fire it up" when they're doing shots, as soon as that scene was played, my wife and I, anytime throughout the movie, if one of us started yelling "fire it up," we would both start yelling it and take shots and get fucking wild with it. And it was just
like you have a built-in like history with it and nostalgia. Like, it's a totally different. thing.
But
That
I'll tell
makes
you,
sense to me.
I'm
JP
sure I'd love it too if I had all that, right? But
JP
Yeah.
the forward from the graphic novel, which I just ordered off Amazon, of the first like 4 issues, and the forward from James O'Barr, like how he came up with a crow, is fucking tragic and sad, and it made me more fascinated with it. Even so, you know, so
you
I'm
talked about
excited.
that last night, right? On
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
on your
it's
live?
just it's so sad. Everything around it is sad, and so this made me want to get reading some more indie. I know Ricky indulges a ton in it. Looks like
Definitely.
Dan does too. I know Ryan, you're Marvel or die, buddy,
I'm
and that's
stubborn.
Yeah.
that's you know what, collect what you like. You know, that's what we always. That's the
100%, for
motto
sure,
of the
for sure.
I
hobby.
just the way I look at it, I'm not saying like any of the. I'm sure there's like incredible stories, and maybe one day I will. You never know, but there's so much Marvel that I have to read. Like
It's insane.
good for life, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe one day something will like, oh, I really do want to kind of read that, and I will, and then maybe it'll open a door or whatever. But like for now,
Yeah.
I just like I want to finish X-Men, then I want to move on to this, and Avengers,
And for
Iron Man.
you, Ryan, you know, Marvel was your growing up. You have stories and feelings about Marvel and centered around that. So that
I mean,
for
like,
you, your, you know,
I
what
was a
you're
big
feeling, what you're
Ninja
thinking.
Turtles. I was a Ninja Turtles kid. I was a GI Joe, Transformers, all that stuff. So like that's all nostalgic to me too. But I just don't really feel like I need to read the comics or even collect the comics. Like I just have more of an affinity to Marvel, right? But like I said, things change over time, right? So who
Yeah.
knows?
But what's cool about this hobby is that I like those things too, but also with you, I love certain, I do have a few X-Men books that are keys because I love collecting keys. I have read some X-Men books, but at the end of the day, it's all just pieces of paper that are still joining us together. No matter what ones you collect and you have behind you, it's just amazing to me, like
It's the equivalent of like us saying like we're all into cars. Well, yeah, but like
What
classic cars, new cars,
right.
muscle cars, collector cars, antique cars.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious cards? Like
every hobby,
yeah.
Star
There's-
Wars. Do you
there's a
collect
kind of-
original,
Yeah,
modern?
the Disney ones with the faces that I get hard over.
there's always genres or subgenres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
love
such
that
a
about this.
long, winding road with many different paths and avenues that you can go down. I mean, it's a rabbit hole, man. You could find anything you like in comics. It's crazy.
That's the thing with Star Wars, Bruce, like the Kenner figures, I felt it was finite. Yes, there's other there's bootlegs and there's editions from other countries and stuff, but
variants.
Those figures, you can't open them up and read them and have them tell a story to you about someone losing a loved one and coming back from the grave.
Love and Rocket's nice.
That's just distinctly nostalgic, like
right.
And like you'll never convince
just
me
a
that
memory.
a toy collector of Star Wars actually gives a shit about Yak Face.
I do, because I loved Monsters in Jabba's Palace.
I don't care.
He was in this. He's like, "Hello, I'm a toy. $10,000, please."
Yeah.
Yeah. Bounce. Amina Man. Amina Man is in Jabba's Palace for like 2 seconds, but you read his lore, and he was a bounty hunter that carried sticks on heads on a sticks. Don't roll your eyes.
I could hear that.
Star Trek fucking fanboy. I know why you're doing that. Go watch Next Generation and call me in the morning. No, I love the original Star Trek movies.
This is I kind of relate to what how Ricky's reacting in a sense, because I'm like a sports guy, right? So I have a team. That's my team. I ride and die with my team. I kind of approach other things like comics in the same way. Like Marvel's my team. I'm all in on Marvel, and I'm like a brand loyal guy too. Like that's how I am with, like, I drink Coke. I don't drink Pepsi, like, and things like that. It's just kind of how I am.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We only have Pepsi products. Is that okay?
Well, okay.
Fuck you.
No, it's not okay.
The rule, but like, do I go to the store and grab Pepsi? Not really. Like I grab Coke.
What is your alternative for Mountain Dew?
You don't chew
Ryan?
Big Red, then fuck you.
There used to be actually
Surge.
Yellow Mellow. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mellow
yeah.
Yellow.
Yep. Mellow Yellow. Yeah.
They don't have that up here anymore. Anyways,
I love Mellow
I'm
Yellow.
not a big Mountain Dew. I mean, I like Mountain Dew, but I don't drink the sugary stuff. I prefer zero stuff. So And I shouldn't really be drinking it, period. But I do from time to time.
Do it.
Anyways, I digress.
At least Star Wars has
have
space
that
battles.
kind of mentality,
What are we
though.
talking about? Soda.
They're not going back in time getting humpback whales to stop a bomb.
My problem with Star Wars is, and this is so particular to me, but let me bitch. So like I don't
know either.
So I write, right? So I write books and I go to writing groups. And whenever you meet a really bad writer, when you critique their work, their thing is always like, oh, well, in the backstory. And it's like, well, no, what's on the page though? And so like 99% of all of Star Wars is, well, if you read the back of the pencil box, you would have known that Floob Florbian is actually the most powerful Sith. It's so lame. And it's just, I don't know. It's so, oh, there's a mess.
You're severely outnumbered, Captain Solo. That is fantastic. Listen, there's a ton of Star Wars books like Heir to the Empire. Timothy Zahn's books are great. They are fucking really well done, and there is stuff within that that's not like the pencil box stuff. I know that you're talking about. My affinity to Star Wars, it was the first movie I remember my parents taking me to when I was 3. Was Jedi in the theater. And it was a winter storm, and my car broke down, and my dad had to stay out and fix it. And I remember him coming in late at Jabba's sail barge part with popcorn, and like it's a core built-in memory. And then I fell into the love for the whole series. And
that's a good one. What is everybody? What is the first movie you remember being taken to?
Jurassic Park.
What's that?
Jurassic Park.
Oh God, you're a baby.
What a banger to start out.
Oh, so young.
Independence Day. I saw both of those like 8 times over and over. My dad fell asleep multiple times. Took me every time. It was awesome.
It would have to be like a kid's movie. For some reason, I remember my aunt taking me to All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I know, yeah, that was a great movie. Ricky's gonna love that. Ricky's hard.
That movie.
I don't know why. I do. Speaking of Jurassic Park, though, I definitely have a vivid memory of Jurassic Park coming out on VHS because I was pretty into dinosaurs as a young kid, and I was a little older though when Jurassic Park came. But I remember Jurassic Park was it was a level of movie that I still probably was a little gray area for my parents to let me watch. And then they surprised me with Jurassic Park, and they let me watch it, and it was like a huge deal. And I was like, that was like epic. When they gave it to me and like we're watching it, I was like,
yeah.
You just don't get those kinds of experiences with movies anymore.
That movie blew my mind. I don't even know how old I was. It was probably 8, maybe 7. It was 94. I was born in 86, so do the math. And it just blew my mind. I was like, what is going on? And my dad just took me to see it way too many times, more than I could count.
That's fantastic. What about you, Dan?
I don't remember exactly like what the first one was, but I definitely remember Jurassic Park, going to see that. I was in 3rd grade, I think. And then Aladdin. I remember seeing that one in the theater. But I mean,
it's a great movie.
Yeah. But no, nothing like I remember going to see Star Wars, and ever since then I've, not like that.
Ricky, what about you? Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go. Keep going. Keep going around the horn.
I was 6. Adam's Family.
Okay.
I was scared of movie theater. I was sound sensitive as a kid.
My daughter is.
Yeah, like if my father worked on cars, so if he and I'm like, I didn't like it, and so like they were afraid to take me like to a movie theater, so they took me into a movie theater, and like I freaked out because everything was so loud. Like they opened the door and you hear the explosions. I hated it, but then I loved the Addams Family TV show, and so they were like, maybe this is how we like coerce him into the movies, and so I was 6, and I just like blew me away.
Yeah.
That was a freaking Raul Julia, and that was amazing.
Angelica Houston was like
Lloyd,
her and Jessica Rabbit are like tied for my first erection.
You know what? Did you ever see Cool World growing up? Did you ever see
Yes,
that
I
movie?
did.
Oh boy, for comic fans.
Why
that's a
don't you
great-
ask my frozen in carbonite body pillow that I had as a child whether or not I've seen Cool World?
That was a great. Was that Brad Pitt?
Yep.
Brad Pitt, and that was the first time. Well, Jessica Rabbit I fell in love with too, but this one, Holly, I think his name was Holly, right?
Yeah,
Was it Holly?
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was like, this is why am I having these feelings about a cartoon character? But she was a total slut. Yeah, Jedi for me was my first one in theaters, and it was just Michael said his first movie was Jaws. He was 3. My dad said after
Wow.
seeing
Haven't been in the
Jaws,
water since.
people didn't go in the water like at all after seeing Jaws.
Yeah.
My dad was in.
That would be like, yeah, no swimming for me anymore.
Great movie.
I don't know if I get in a pool after that movie.
Gene Malone, but I'm old. I'll be 65 next Friday, so it was way before you guys were sperm in your father's balls. True that,
That's
Gene.
awesome. Yeah.
My dad lived in DC when The Exorcist. They filmed like the end scene down there, and he saw it in DC.
In Georgia.
And that's
Wow.
that's the most scary horror movie to me
Oh, yeah.
ever. He showed me when I was 16, and it was like it blew my fucking mind. And he's like, people were coming out of the theater throwing up,
Mhm.
and just getting sick over it. And
Yeah.
it scares me the most because it's just like religion is a widely, it's religion is worldwide, right? Like that's like a lot of civilizations are built off their religion. And it's not like Freddy Krueger, who's a dream, like it has a basis and merit for why it's happening, of like demonic possession. And when she's violating herself with a crucifix, I was like, holy shit, Dad, what are you showing me? Like,
so
what
the hell? I read the book by William Peter Blatty, The Exorcist, the one that was a movie based on.
Mm-hmm.
It literally ruined the movie. You'll never watch the movie again because the book is 1,000 times scarier.
It really
like I don't get scared. I meditate when I meditate to read. You know what I mean? It's relaxing for me. So I usually don't get scared during books. I'll get interested. I'll get hyped up. I'll cry, but I won't get scared. The Exorcist scared the tits off of me. Like I lost sleep that night when I read a couple chapters.
Yeah,
it's
Holy
really,
crap.
really frightening.
I don't.
And then you go back and watch the movie. It's trash.
Wow, that's that. I will read it then. I like to be scared like that. I know you like to feel like all sorts of emotions. You've recommended some horror movies to me. I've watched their trailers. I'm like, yeah, this is. Where's the line for you, Ricky, between a horror movie and torture porn?
It's how Congress classified it. It's I know it when I see it. There's a mile wide difference between something like Afterlife or Necromantic or Death of a Porno Gang. There's that, and then there's like Sweet Movie and Serbian Film, and one of them is telling a story that you're not prepared to hear, and the other one isn't attempting to tell a story at all. It's just it's telling a story to your skin and your eyeballs, which has its own merit, which is why I watch those movies, because they're not telling a tale to my ears and my heart. They're telling a tale to my skin and my flesh. And so you see it and you start getting grossed out. But the ones that tell a story are amazing.
Would you classify the movie Hostel as torture porn?
Hostel is a fucking cereal box with a cartoon character on it compared to what I'm talking about. Like it is a horror movie. It's just a movie that is spooky. If
you want to talk about torture porn, Terrifier is that's.
See, you know what? I'm not even going to disagree. Like I would say it's modern. It's extreme horror. Like that movie's really good.
It's more than extreme in my book.
My sweet summer child.
This is funny that we went into horror, but just to get him involved, I want to ask Ryan. Ryan, one of your collecting goals is the X-Men one or bust, and I know that you haven't even Rohan in the group chat has left you alone. And we all would be tagging you each week, or we'd be like, Colossus, do it, bye, because you throw up a book. It has gone quiet. I appreciate your laser focus in it. I know that it's got to be tough because I have scaled back a ton myself. I used to order a few raw books to think about for content for the following week, and those raw books would be in runs I need, Fantastic Four, Man Thing, the keys I wanted. And I made that collecting goal video, and I'm trying to be like you. I'm like, this was one of two. You know, I sold some comics off to fund it, like single issues that I got last year when I was just kind of being willy-nilly, that I was like, oh, it's a cool key, you know, that, but I really it didn't bring me that much joy, you know? So I give you credit, man, because it is tough to not be like, oh, I want to, you know, I either want to buy that cover or I want to read that book, you know, like someone said that was a Philadelphia is a good story. I should read it. And so how's it going over there?
Good. I bought a couple books in the last week or two, but like really cheap.
It's not gonna be a Marvel Spotlight, you know, fine.
No,
it's not like
I so there's this I actually have them right here. They were in my short. I'll just some of them. They're all here. So there's this Colossus storyline from Marvel Comics Presents.
Oh, that's cool.
And I have all these books in a really, really high grade, and so I don't want to read them, and I thought I would just read them on Marvel Unlimited on the app, and I went to check them out, and those issues on the app don't have the Colossus stories in them. So basically, they only have like there's like some Black Panther stories, like because they're like multi-story books. They only have the Black Panther ones, so they didn't digitize the Colossus stories, so they're not on the app. So I needed to find some reader copies, so I went to my LCS and I scooped up a bunch, and so I bought those, and then I bought 2 books off Whatnot last week that were really well priced, and that's all I've spent under $50 on comics since
Congrats, man.
November.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of videos from you last year that you were like literally like, this is a stack of keys that I've been sitting on, and then like 2 weeks later another one would come out.
So
and
just before we came on, I had a leftover stack of books from last year that I'd just been waiting to do whenever I ran out of stuff to do. So I just did that. There are actually some pretty good books in there, but like that's it. That after that, I'll have to figure out some other content stuff for a little while.
So that's where I'm going, because I'm not going to be, my shtick is helping people get stuff through the mail, like having them find reliable sellers on Instagram or, you know, Facebook, whatnot. There's a couple on there. I know me and Bruce both use Robot Monster Island. So like, I'm starting to write down content ideas of like next week's going to be my best sellers of 2023. And I really want to highlight them because I think they do deserve that, to be known, to be shown. And so I can fulfill a goal of my channel. And then, but after that, you know, I was thinking, so highlight the sellers, but I'm going to interview James, who is the Robot Monster Island owner, the seller. Cool. So I want to do more interviews. I think lives are a little bit more less labor intensive, but can still provide some good material. I mean, like I love when I see you guys, when I see any of you guys pop up on live. If I'm in bed about to pass out, I'll hit it and watch you guys. If I can't be there to join when it's during the week, like your X-Men talk or Ricky, anytime Ricky's on, and my wife will come and she's like, I thought you were going to bed. And I'm like, honey, the boys are on. Like, these are my guys. Like, I have to at least pop in and say hi. And because it is fun to see you guys go live. And it'll be fun.
I'm hearing you guys feel the pinch of like, you know, like shopping content's really popular. One of my more popular videos is like the one time I went shopping.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like CGC submissions, and then haul videos, and then everything else in terms of like videos that get viewed. But I pepper in stuff here and there. I just got to do it a little bit more. Since I've started, I have a list on my phone of a checklist of just video ideas, and like as I do them, I check them off. But like,
me too.
It's pretty long. I got ideas that I can do, and more to come. So and then like you said, I'm doing lives. I'm starting a new bi-weekly X-Men thing starting up next week, and then I'm still doing the X-Men collector chats with Dan to talk to new X-Men collectors. So it's and then on top of it, then I'm gonna pepper in. I want to have more than just X-Men content all the time, so I'm gonna do more lives and impromptu lives and stuff like that. So I'll definitely have lots going on the shows, and usually my lives they do pretty good. It depends on who I have on.
Well, I need actors for the sketches I want to do. I've got a ton of sketches I want to do, and I need actors. So you guys, you're going to be so annoyed when we go to the convention, Terrificon, because it's just going to be like, hey, I need 3 guys, you, and you, get over here. I just have a lot I want to do.
I'm down, dude. You know that.
I love that.
Terrificon is going to be a cornucopia of content from all our channels. It's going to be off the chain, as kids when I was a kid used to say.
Yeah, the kids
Not
So,
now.
That the hot dog eating champ, the hot dog eating champ Kobayashi eats like a head of lettuce before he like does a competition to stretch out his stomach. I'm gonna need to do that for all of the sperm.
I knew that was coming.
There's gonna be a lot of juice.
And then there's
My costume is gonna be me holding up a bathroom stall door with a hole in it, and that's my costume at the
That's
con.
your cosplay.
We
Yeah, I
will
just
have
drop it in front of.
milk jug of Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. But no, I think all our channels, whether we're buying a lot or not, will do well because we want them to. But yeah, like if you want those really big books that are even more important than, to you than just buying 20 run fillers every couple weeks just to show content, it's not sustainable. And it doesn't get you the books you want, it doesn't get you your X-Men one.
So Dan, you're in the race for the X-Men one.
Nope.
You're not in. Okay, so you're not going for it.
No. It's honestly, it's never been one that other people love it. It's not for me. I don't know.
I think it's gonna break your heart if like half of the group gets it though.
Yeah. Shing.
Yeah, all 4 of the
Dan
screens.
marches to his own drum, man. I doesn't.
I give him credit. He does.
We've been on him to start his own channel. He will not do it.
You'll be pleased because I'm working on. I'm not starting a channel.
Damn it! Don't tickle my balls and not blow them.
Oh, I am swelling them up, my friend, for the right moment.
You have been for 6 months. Stop.
I'm working on my first edited video that I will I'll post on Instagram.
It's a start.
Dude, you're halfway there. Just put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
People are literally making you intros and like we were doing the work for. Is this your ruse? Your cunning attempt to trick us into making you cool stuff, and you're like, "All right, thanks, guys. This is to come on and talk."
This is what's happening. Like Dan keeps teasing us and teasing us and teasing us, and our balls are going bluer and bluer until sweet release.
Ricky's gonna shoot a load like
I love my
rocket
life.
all the way
it's
back
gonna
to
be
his house.
It's gonna be a wax dart I can hang my coat on.
Wax dart.
No, what's frustrating is for like it's taken me 7 months to get like almost 250, and you're gonna make a channel, and on day 1 you're gonna have like 580 subscribers.
You totally would, dude. It would blow because all of us creators would make shorts or like video go live. Like it's happened.
Yeah,
you really have a great marketing strategy for yourself if you could just take advantage of it.
Manufactured scarcity.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm absolutely honored that you guys had taken me in as a friend and allowed me to share really to learn from you guys is what I'm doing here. So I appreciate y'all.
Well, you show up with a robe. How can we not?
Yeah. But how was he dressed? In a robe?
Yeah, in a robe. So I'm gonna kill it because I gotta go to bed because, like I said, my kids will not stop waking up at 5 a.m. It sucks. But let's go around the horn. Ricky, what do you have coming up?
Monday, I'm releasing a video called C4, and I'm still workshopping the name, but it's gonna be
Is this the official announcement?
So it's coming out on Monday. I'm starting a YouTube wrestling federation where every week I have 2 wrestlers on a recorded video. So it's gonna be well edited. It's not gonna be live stream. and it's going to be 2 comic book content creators who are wrestlers. They have characters and everything. And the fight is I present them with 5 questions that have to be answered in the form of comic books in their own collection. And so then once that video is filmed and they've made their answers, each opponent gives their answers, right? The moment that video concludes, you can go over to the All Sorts of Words community page and vote on each individual answer. And then the following week, when 2 new wrestlers come on and they have their fight, we announce the winners of the previous week's fight as well. And we have, it's wild. You guys are going to have a ball for real. This is going to be the big one. This could be the one where Ricky gets to 1,000 subscribers, because there's a lot of work and a lot of passion from everyone involved going in this. I'm killing myself making this. The wrestlers themselves. Would anybody who has been a wrestler like to make an announcement of themselves?
First week is Ryan versus myself. We're totally in on it. We've seen the one of the clips of my intro. We went through it with him. We recorded it. Ricky's doing all the work. Me and Colossus had to do some videos on the side.
No way.
Colossus knocked it out of the park. Colossus knocked it out of the park. Like, it's gonna kick my ass, but it is.
Oh, pish posh.
It's going to be. It's wildly fun, and I hope other people want to get in on it, because it's so outside of our box, but in our box at the same time, you know, because it's worked around comics, that it's pretty freaking awesome. So I'm pumped.
Sounds fun.
And then I'm working on a mini documentary about a half an hour long. I'm working on it for a couple weeks now. I promise I'm not picking sides, but the title of it is Every Accusation Against Stan Lee. And it's a documentary about everybody because every time I make a video where I mention Stan Lee, even offhand, someone hits the comments and is like, thief, liar, he doesn't deserve the credit. Someone always does, invariably. And so I've been investigating, where do those claims get started? What specific artists said, what did he do? What did the writing process look like? And I was looking around YouTube and people touch on it, but I haven't seen like a mini length documentary going over like, no, this is every single person. This is what they said. This is when they said it. And then in the end, I have a very impassioned plea for why I believe Stan Lee deserves to be recognized. And so like, that's the other thing. It's killing me. I'm really overstretched right now.
Damn, it sounds like it, dude. Because it's a lot of research. It sounds awesome, but that's a lot of research to be putting into a video, and then the filming and editing and sound. And it's not
Really cool,
like I told everyone on my stream last night, what I've learned in 1 year doing this, it's not fucking easy. It's a lot of time, and you got to be passionate about what you're doing. And, you know, it's a lot. So Ricky, kudos to you. I look forward to that stuff. Bruce, what do you got coming up with your channel, buddy?
Well, my focus this year is kind of like Colossus, where I'm not so much picking up smaller books. I'm kind of going after bigger keys. And the other goals that I made for myself were to submit books for the first time to CGC. So I actually had some books in mind that I want to send to Jeff to get pressed, and then send them off to CGC. So they're going to be kind of small videos here and there, nothing really crazy, but I would like to try to get my subscriber count up a little bit, you know, just because I'm starting from the ground.
And where can people find you?
Up North Comics.
Are you on Instagram as well?
Yeah, Instagram is up.northcomics.
Up.northcomics, folks. Dan, I wish I could go to you. I'll go to Ryan. Ryan, what you got coming up, buddy? Is the wallet coming back? He's going to go viral at some point.
Well, there's lots upcoming on the Colossus Collector channel. First off, I am 26 subscribers away, 26 from 1,000. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. And when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm doing a pretty big giveaway. Lots of stuff. If you want to know what it is, check out my 1K subscriber giveaway video that I did last year at some point. And
super generous giveaway.
All you got to do to be eligible for that is to be a subscriber and to be in some of the comment sections on my videos, just kind of being an active member of the Colossus Collector community. So that's happening soon. I also have a new bi-weekly X-Men club type of live stream show called the Council of X that will be starting next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And the council consists of anybody who's been on my channel for an X-Men Collectors Chat. Of course, Dan is a part of that. He's my co-host on Collector Chats. And that's going to be, like I said, every other week, either on a Monday or a Friday. It's just going to be geeks, X-Men nerds hanging out and nerding out on X-Men on a bi-weekly basis. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I just shot a few videos today. I kind of spoke about that earlier. My kind of leftover comics from 2023, that little unboxing of comics I just bought, and then also a little special video. I'll just tease it for my friend Rohan at the Absolute Game of Nerds. And then I've been working on this long-term project of comparing all the grading companies. So I'm sending one book and one book only to each of the 4 grading companies.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Get an idea of what the experience is like. And so far, I'm 50% of the way there. I've gone through EGS and PGX, and now the next one is CBCS. So hopefully in a couple months that'll come out when I get it all done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's everything I can update everybody on.
That's a sick idea, dude. And I just dropped anyone in the chat. I dropped a link to Colossus's 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So you can click on that link, whether you're watching now or in the rerun, and go get yourself in on that giveaway, because Dan's right. It is very, very kind. And
Ryan, I think we need to have a live pledge, like people calling in, subscribing to get you to 1,000. I think that would be, like
it's going to happen within days, dude. I'm telling you.
Happen this week, because it's I would
it's
say
gonna happen this week.
It could be 3 weeks, but we'll see.
It's awesome.
Like
I said, last 25. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you're going to roll like a snowball pretty soon. I think you've been on a lot of lives the past couple of weeks, and your Council of X, and like Ricky said, we have some same subscribers, but we got to have different subscribers too, that that will find each other. And Bruce will get you to 100. You'll get there, hopefully fairly
I'm pretty
quick,
close
for sure. Yeah.
First 100 is usually pretty quick. So
yeah.
Nice to meet you too, Bruce, by the way.
Yeah, you too, Dan.
Dan's the gem of our group.
He's my downstairs
great guy, Dan. You're really such a great guy.
Ricky, you're the best. So next week I'll do my top 20. Well, next Wednesday I'm going live to celebrate that day. The 24th is the first day I posted a YouTube video last year. So to celebrate, I've got some people lined up for that, and I'm going to unbox another book that day, and just tell other people to bring some books. It is a school night for me, but I don't care. Like, I just want to hang.
What night is that again?
Wednesday. Yeah, I'm going to do it at 8 p.m. when the kids are down. And Ricky, I know you said you couldn't be there. If you want to send a clip, I'd love to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get there till like 9, but I will send you like a testimonial.
I love it. So I'll do that, and then I'll drop my top sellers 2023 Friday, and then, like I said, just doing some other videos that are interviewing people and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, thanks for agreeing to jump on tonight. Not
a problem.
Thank you. The signal went up, and people jumped on. Vicky, you look fucking crazy. I love it. You look like Robert Smith from The Cure.
He looks like Ozzy Osbourne.
Give me a bite.
Thanks to the chat for coming and hanging out. We appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go hang out with these guys backstage.
Take it off.
Jesus. Oh wow, he's revealing.
Dan's M.O.N.Comics coming soon. Everyone have a great night. Peace.